Right. Hey. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the November. No, what month are we in? October edition of the Tawana Talk Dispatch with Tawana. So we're gonna jump right into it. We got Miss Michelle on the line today. I always try to bring you guys some information to help your businesses grow your businesses and be sure that we can get you guys the proper way of doing things and businesses that you can partner with and businesses that can handle certain things for you guys. And today Miss Michelle is going to bring you guys information in reference to contracts, government contracts, and getting your certifications, which is definitely a great benefit for us in the dispatch and transportation industry. So I'm going to let her take over the call and tell you what she has. So, and then we're gonna hold your questions until after her presentation. If you can't remember your questions, you can put them in the chat and we will go through them after her presentation. So everyone, thank you so much and please welcome Miss Michelle.
Good evening, everyone. I am so excited to be on Tawana's platform. This is, as I told her, this is the season of the Black small business woman, owner, business, everything. So if you are a minority female, this is a great time for you to grow within the public space and for you to grow in the private space. Both spaces are looking for you. It does not matter what industry that you're in, they are looking for you. So I'm going to show you a quick presentation talking about LinkedIn and then also about the government certifications and just how you can leverage both, how both can be used to really just highlight your skill set. So like Tawana said, my name is Michelle Lenore. I am the CEO of Michelle Lenore Enterprises and Lynn's consulting firm, where I am helping women, minority women right now really get those $1 million contracts, no matter what platform that they're using. I'm going to speak a little bit about branding. Branding is not my big forte, but branding is huge in this and how you present yourself. But, again, it's like if you're a best kept secret, nobody knows about you, then you won't get the business. All right, so I am about to share my screen here. So what I'm going to do is, for some reason, my Zoom acts like really funny when I actually go into presentation mode. So I leave my slides. I do leave my slides up. So leveraging LinkedIn and becoming all-stars. So one of the things about LinkedIn is a professional platform. Very different from Facebook. Some people say, oh, it's similar to Facebook. It's not similar to Facebook. You should not be posting breakfast up there. Like, this is what I have for breakfast, unless you're a nutritionalist, unless that's your job, that's something completely different. So again, when you think LinkedIn, think of business. How do I present myself to the client who I want? So a few things that we're going to look at today is what is an all-star within LinkedIn, the purpose of the platform, and to demonstrate your expertise. And the demonstrate your expertise is where I will go into speaking about the government contracts and how you can leverage those certifications. Okay. So first impressions are really important. And it's like, where do you stand with your first impressions? When people look at your Instagram, what do they think? When they look at your Facebook, what do they think? The same thing is with LinkedIn. What do they think? Again, if it's a vendor or if it's your dream client, what do you want them to think if they look at your profile? What is it stating? And if it's stating, oh yeah, I'm the hip, I'm cool, I'm all this other type of stuff, is it talking about, if it's really talking about what your business is all about and what you have to offer? So in the experience of LinkedIn, and again, LinkedIn is free. So so they have a paid part and they have a free part. If you leverage it right, you don't ever have to use the paid piece. You can go ahead and use the free one. And again, like I said, really leverage what LinkedIn is offering. And so just like a resume, if you don't know where to start with LinkedIn, start with your resume. The resume is a great way to start. It doesn't matter, again, if you're in the transportation, trucking, or logistics space, it's important to have this information completed. So people just pretty much look at your progression. Like, it's like, okay, so this is where she came from, and I would say no more than about 10 to 15 years. You shouldn't go beyond that unless it's something really, something that really shows what your experience is, which is really, really important. So you do actually want to have that information down. But if it's like, okay, well, I was a waitress like 20 years ago, you don't have to put that down. But if you worked with a global group like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you do want to have that information down. So the vendor or your client know that you have the expertise to do what you say that you have the capability of doing. So the next is, who are you? What do you do? And what do you like to do? What is your goal? And so it's like, who are you? Again, you are talking about who you are, and people want to know who you are. So they don't want you to just come out the gate and say, I'm in the trucking space, and that's it. And it only shows 2 years. Again, they need to know, more about you. And again, what do you do? What do you like to do? And what are your goals? And so when I talk about this, and then I'm going to go live to show you guys one. When I talk about this, it's pretty much your professional profile. Then there's a business profile. You cannot have a business profile without having a professional profile. And again, I'll show you that. I'll show you that in a couple of minutes. So one of my examples here is on LinkedIn, and this can fall again for Instagram, and it can fall for Facebook. What kind of coach are you? So this is just my example. So there's a lot of people on Instagram, on Facebook that I've been seeing that says, okay, I have this type of course. I have this, I have that, or I'm a coach. I can coach you in this. All right. And so it's really important within the LinkedIn space that you really talk about what you are an expert in. So if you're just saying like, oh yeah, I'm just a coach, and I put it right here in the logistics space, that's so broad. That's not letting people know what your expertise is. So if you're talking about a dispatcher, so with the dispatchers, there's so many lanes, right? So if you're rocking out just this one lane and you killing it, stick with that lane, talk about it. Now you can talk about the other lanes here or there because you're making others aware of what's happening in the industry, but pretty much you want to talk more about what your niche is. And so that way, when that vendor is looking for you, when that corporation is looking for you, they're like, we know that this corporation, this group can do this. All right. So why LinkedIn? And I just highlighted some things. Why LinkedIn? And it's worldwide, professionals are signing up to join LinkedIn at a rate of more than 2 new members per second. Okay, and there are 87 million millennials on LinkedIn with 11 million in decision-making positions. All right, and so one of the things here that I want you guys to look at is like, who are your drivers? Who is your audience? Who is your customer? Okay, so LinkedIn can be used in 2 different ways. Well, it can be used more than 2 different ways, but LinkedIn can be used to find a vendor to get that contract, but it can also be used to find customers. So again, if you are a owner, then if you're looking for drivers, this is a great way to go ahead and put that out there on LinkedIn. Again, there are 87 million millennials. So if that is your person, if that's your driver, then this is a great space to let them know what you're all about and that you're looking for them. And so my last highlight here is 80% of business-to-business leads come from LinkedIn versus 13% on Twitter. Guys, I have no idea who uses Twitter. I know I don't use Twitter. I'm like, I don't know why they still got Twitter here. And 7% and 7% on Facebook. And so they didn't compare themselves to Instagram. There's a lot that's happening in Instagram. Again, if you have If your audience is on Instagram, that's great. When I talk about LinkedIn, I'm talking about $1 million contracts. So if you can find $1 million contracts on Instagram, go for it. My thing is have at it. But if you're looking more for business to business, then LinkedIn is the platform for you and for your company. So right here, I have 7 points to becoming an all-star. So this is really, really important right here, is in becoming an all-star, is because LinkedIn has an algorithm that if you do not hit these points, then your profile will not go to the top when people are looking for drivers, owners, women of color. It will stay like within like limbo, unless a person is like really, really looking for a particular niche, then you will not be at the top 10% and you'll be looked over. So most definitely, if you want a copy of this, please reach out to me. My information will be at the end of the slideshow. It's like, okay, Michelle, this is, I need to get onto LinkedIn. And so, like I said, this is one of the fastest and easiest ways to get your profile up and running. So branding, like I said, I am not in the big branding space. I have my partner, Shaylin Dixon. We have a workshop that is happening next month. She goes really, really deep into branding. She is still helping my stuff. I know she's probably looking at my slides saying like, what the heck? Those are not your brand colors. And she is correct. I was having such a hard time to change these colors. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it another day. So forgive me, Shay. So, so one thing that I really say out of all of these is you want to brag about yourself, because if you don't brag on you, then who will? Okay. So if you're not putting that information down on LinkedIn, this is where the certifications come in. This is where your degrees come in. This is where your training comes in. If nobody knows that you have this stuff, then it's like, how will they find you? So I always talk about brag on yourself. You're worth it. You're worth it. If it seems like, oh, that's too much, great, put it down. Oh, I put it down. As long as it's professional, put it down. The other one is most definitely you want to stay relevant. And so this is where the posting comes in. You don't want to say, oh yeah, there's not a driver shortage. Well, if you say there's not a driver shortage, how can you prove it? Because maybe in somebody's eyes, there's not a driver shortage, but what they did was they pulled an article out that was written like a couple of days ago. And that's why they're saying there's no driver shortage. But if you're saying, there's no driver shortage, and you have an article, some old information that was like 3-4 years ago, then people are like, do they even know what's happening in the industry? And again, you're not staying relevant. So you do want to stay relevant. The other thing is that you want to be consistent. Again, when I was talking about your niche, you want to make sure that you are talking about what you are a professional in, what you are, I know some people say, okay, I'm not an expert. Okay, close to an expert, subject matter expert. What are you an expert in, and what are you teaching me? Because I may not know. And then also during this time, being consistent, letting others know, again, what you can do for them. Are you solving a problem? Consistently talking about, I'm solving this problem for you. So you want to be consistent. The next thing is engaging your audience and getting noticed. And so this is where a lot of the postings come in. When I have the postings here, conversations, feedback, and then also recommendations. This is just a great opportunity for your skills and your recommendations, that if others believe that you have the capacity to do what you're doing, you want them to go ahead and give a thumbs up and conversate with you. You also want them to say, yes, Michelle, she knows all about LinkedIn. She showed it to us. I'm so excited. I want to tell you more about it. And that's really great to let the audience know that this is a person that you want to go to. You want them a part of your network. And then also perhaps you want to attend one of their sessions, or attend a conference that they're at. Again, learning and understanding more about the person, but you have to engage with your audience and let your audience know what you're up to. So again, I have sessions that are coming up. And so on Instagram and both Instagram and LinkedIn, I don't use Facebook a whole lot unless it feeds over from Instagram. But I let people know, yeah, I got sessions that's coming up for LinkedIn. I have sessions coming up for government certifications. And so I'm letting them know what I have, what's coming up. So that's the future. I let them know what's happening now. And then also I let them know what happened in the past. And that's where the postings come in at. So one of the postings that I will have is like, oh my gosh, Tawana let me on her platform and everybody was super, super wonderful. Thank you so much for letting me be on your platform. And I'll post that. And so even though she has a posting out there to say like Michelle's speaking, then I'll respond back in kind and say it was great. Don't, catch the next one that she has coming up. And so then that way we are really helping each other grow each other's business. So getting into LinkedIn. So I love to talk about LinkedIn. I love to talk about government certifications. And so right here is my LinkedIn profile, right? Well, not my profile, but this is the first thing that somebody sees when they go to your LinkedIn profile, all right? And so I'm going to capture your attention. And so there I am capturing your attention, letting you know that I help you to secure 6 to 7 figure government and corporate contracts. I help you to approach your dream millionaire clients. And then also I help you to optimize your business LinkedIn profile. And it's not just the business profile, but it's also the professional profile. So I do work on both of those, but usually I am directing my energies towards small businesses. And so I went ahead and put the business LinkedIn profile. Also here, you will see that I put down my certifications or the certifications that I help others get. And I let them know DBE, SBE, SPSF, MBE, Hub Zone, WOSB, and 88. And you'd be like, Michelle, what was those alphabets? So DBE is Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. And that is pretty much letting anyone know that once you have the certification, that you fall underneath a group that's deemed by the government, that is called the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. And so what they do, they have a certain percentage of money set aside for someone that has the DBE certification. So say if you're making 50,000 a year, your business is making 50,000 a year, and there's a contract that's out there. So that's maybe like $2 million. What they will do is they will take that $2 million contract, put it under the DBE umbrella. So you're not competing with a company that makes $50 million. Because if you're competing with a company that makes $50 million, chances are they're going to win because they have the resources. And so that's why the government had came up with the DBE program. SBE also is Small Business Enterprise. This is depending on how small your business are and what industry that you're in and how much money that your business is making per year. This can be given to, it can be a white male, white female, minority, as long as you fall underneath how many employees you have and how much that you're making a year. For the DBE, you have to be a person of color or you have to be a white woman, okay, who is considered as a minority. SPSF is more for consulting. So if you have a consulting business, then you can get the SPSF, but this is by state. So not all states have this. And so this pretty much, again, lets states know that, okay, that you're heavy into training, that you can help them out in training and some administrative work. And so that's what the SPSF stands for. The MBE, so the MBE is the Minority Business Enterprise. So if you are a Black female, this lets people know immediately that you are a minority-owned business that is female, is a woman-owned business. This is really, really important. So when I said at the beginning that this is the season of the Black woman, this is the season of the Black woman. And for them to know that you are, that you're MBE, they have to see that. And also there's a database, there's a free database per state that shows if you're MBE. So if you say, oh, Michelle, what prevents me from putting it down? The only thing they have to do is look at what state that you're in. And if you're saying that you're MBE, it is a free database under the DBE database that shows if you're MBE or not. So most definitely go the right way and get your MBE, okay? And so again, I got a couple of courses that are coming up that will help you get that, that will help get you that certification. And so with that certification, I'm going to show you one of my clients' profiles within the logistics space. She never got a government contract, but she leveraged her government certifications. Okay. And so I'll show you that in a minute. These other three, let's see, Hub is also historically underutilized business. That means that you are a Black business. This is per state. All states don't have this. Hub Zone, all states have Hub Zone. That means that your business is in an area where there are a lot of disadvantaged individuals, and also that you hire them to help grow and run your business. So you get Hub Zone. Again, money is set aside for that. Then you have the women-owned small business. Again, this is for women. So again, a lot of you guys could fall underneath this. So you have an opportunity to pull these contracts in, okay? And then the 8-8, and the 8-8 is a whole lot bigger. And so I'm not going to talk about the 8-8. That's a whole nother conversation, but the 8-8 is another good one to have after you have established your business. So right here, the only thing I wanted to show you guys was right there, it says all-star. I'm an all-star, woo, right? So you want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is showing that you are an all-star. This will allow more views. So within the last couple of weeks, I had 737 people look at my profile. I appeared in searches. I had one of my postings that it had gotten 16 views. So I have, so again, this is just a snapshot that I've pulled out here, but I'll show you, like I said, I'll show you the other client's information, but I'm going to show it to you as if we're viewing it as a customer and not her private information. So I did get her permission, but only if I showed it a certain way. Also within LinkedIn, you want to show what you have featured and remember when I said what you have in the past, what you have in the present, what you have in the future. And so a lot of times people do not get past this piece right here where it says featured. And so you want to make sure you take out the time to go ahead and put that information up there on feature. Unlike Instagram, you don't have to post every day. I do, because LinkedIn is the platform that I mostly use. Instagram, I usually have somebody else do Instagram, which is fine. And I do it because you guys see my face. But for LinkedIn, I really focus and leverage LinkedIn. The same with activities. So you want to show your audience that you are engaging. Like I said, you don't have to do it every day, but between like 2 to 3 times a week, you most definitely want to go ahead and post something. And again, post something relevant. Right now it shows my followers. I got 13,000 followers on LinkedIn. LinkedIn, like I said, is different from Instagram. That was a tough number to reach because we're talking about professionals. They're not picking you because you're hip, because you're fly. No, they're picking you because you are bringing forth serious content. And so they want to follow you to see what's happening. And so right here's the about. Again, Sometimes they don't even get to this stage of the about. But you, again, you want to go ahead and you want to leverage this space. And so one of the things that I had put up at the top was business growth, minority business government certifications. And I am DBE certified in 30 states. And so some of the states are California, Arizona, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Vermont, Rhode Island. You might ask, why Rhode Island? Why Vermont? Because there's not a whole lot of us who look like us up there. And chances are I can get that contract. So you have to be strategic. So, but that's only, of course, if you have time, but again, that's why I did it. It was a strategy that I was using because again, there's not a whole lot of brown snow bunnies up there in Vermont. So these are a couple of the workshops that I have coming up that talk, oh, I'm sorry. When I shade was like, all right. That I have coming up that talks about leveraging LinkedIn and how to get $1 million contracts. Also, I have the upcoming government certification intensive training. This is a 4-hour training that we're on. We are walking through the whole application, the whole DBE application. And if you're a Black female, that means that you would get the certification. You would get the DBE certification. You will get the MBE certification. Also, you will get the ACDBE certification. So I did not have that down on my title, not saying that I didn't have to, but I ran out of space. So the ACDBE certification is working with the airport. So if you're near the airport or you know the airport always has something happening, then that will give you those certifications. If you're a white female, you'll get the DBE and you'll get the WBE and the ACDBE. If you are a Black male, then you will only get the DBE and the ACDBE. And if you're a white male, then you cannot get any of those certifications. And so I go through that information on what type of certifications that you would get. But with this intensive training, at the end of the training, you would be able, well, everything would be completed probably about 85 to 95%, because you need to have your taxes and things like that. And I talk about that. And also you need some forms to be notarized. And depending on what state you're in, that you may need to have some other forms notarized also. And that's why I said between 85 to 95% that everything would be completed. For the LinkedIn profile with this, we would go over the professional profile first to make sure that you reach the all-star status, and then we would briefly go over the business profile. So if you have any questions about that, please check me out at michellelenora.com, or you can reach out to me and I'll have my information down there. Also, what I have coming up is I am partnering up with Shaylin Dixon. Hey, girl. And so with that, we are talking about branding. We're talking about your professional setup, social media. We will be touching on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Google. So this is a 5-hour session. So if you're looking for like step by step, there will be some steps in there, but when we really think about all the platforms that are out there, we'll touch on it, how to speed up, what you need to speed up, but we'll touch on that. And then we'll also talk about the capability statement. You may say, Michelle, what is a capability statement? Capability statement is a resume for your business. This is needed when you are submitting government contracts. So your business has its own personality, okay? And this capability statement helps to show that. So we'll talk about that. And then also we will talk about the minority certifications, focusing on DBE, mostly because you get more bang for your buck. Again, during this time, we will not go step by step with the application. That's something completely different. That's what I do. And that's a, like I said, that's a 4-hour intensive training. Okay. And so if you have any questions, most definitely, if you screenshot this, snap, or use your phone, or if you want to reach out to me, here is my email address. I am in the process of changing it. It's a little harder than what I thought, so I have to stick with it for now. And so what we are going to do is we are going to go actually to the one that she allowed me to use. Okay. All righty. So, all right. So Ashley Thomas, she is one of my clients. I know, Ashley. So Ashley is one of my clients who I am working with. And I'm not sure if you guys had heard her testimony on Instagram, that as I began to update her LinkedIn profile with these, I started updating her LinkedIn profile with the information, letting people know that she is MBE certified. Remember, I put the MBE first. You could put MBE first, DBE first, SBE first, but my suggestion for you is that if you are a minority female, I will put the MBE first. Okay, so that's the first thing that they see. And so you want to make sure this has great color. Also, she gave me a picture. She's smiling. Again, it doesn't have to be like corporate, but it has to be professional enough. I was telling Shay that there was one young lady who I had saw, and her picture was she was laying across a piano. I was like, oh, she must be a hostess or a singer or something. And as I began to go into her information, she was an executive assistant. I was like, interesting. Right? I'm like, so in Ashley's testimony, please check it out under Supreme Driver Recruiting. She talked about how she was able to get a multi-million-dollar contract, okay, because she wasn't getting ready, she was already ready. Okay, the only thing that she needed was this. That's all that she needed. And and I obviously I did some other things, but she had been using LinkedIn, but she didn't amp it up. And so that's why she got me into the mix to amp it up. Like, let's amp this up. And so the thing was that she said that the guy reached out to her and was like, hey, I saw your LinkedIn profile. I see that you're a minority owned, woman-owned business. Let's have a conversation. And so from that conversation, it resulted $1 million contract. Multi-million-dollar contract.
Multi-million.
Right. All right. I got to say that right, girl. Multi-million. Okay. So one of the things
I'm one of her subcontractors. So.
Oh, say it again.
I'm one of her subcontractors, so we eat good.
Okay, I like to hear. Okay. Yeah. So one of the things that Ashley has here is it gets people's attention. Need truck drivers, so this is in red. So this is some of the things that I do to help kickstart your profile. So again, sometimes people don't get past this. They'll see, okay, she's executive manager, advising, okay, she's this. That may be all that they need. Maybe they need a little more. Okay, do you need truck drivers? We can help. Really? What? Okay. So again, with Ashley's information, she's putting this out there, so you could take a look at what she's been doing. This is really, really important to take a look at what she's been doing. Right here is another one. 80,000 drivers wanted. Boom. I'm trying to get your attention. I want to get your attention. And so you have to get the individual's attention so they can read your information. Okay. And so again, like right here, Ashley, we talked about what she's currently doing. So she just didn't come out the gate at 2015. We hope that she's older than, I don't know what that is, 7? So it was important to put her information down here, even it had nothing to do with the logistics space. People need to feel comfortable. They need to know what you're all about, who you're all about. And so they want to look at all of this information. And then also her education. So we need to update this. So unfortunately, her profile has been hacked into, so we're working through that right now. I was like, what? So yeah, so
LinkedIn too.
okay, girl, anywhere, anywhere. It doesn't matter. Facebook, Instagram, they can get into anything. And so we'll briefly look at her now this is her business profile. And so one thing about the business profile is that you want to begin to get followers, okay? So it's not all the time about Ashley, it's about her business, okay? And so this also allows Ashley to be alleviated from posting, because she can give somebody an administrator, which I am, to post on her site. Okay, and so we got videos here. No, that's not her video. LinkedIn keeps changing stuff. So we have her video here, videos. And I wish I could show you guys her numbers. But like I said, I had to get her permission to look at her information. So this is what I was saying, look at her numbers. And then I'll have you guys ask some questions. All right. So this is me right here. Nope, sorry. Let's do it again. Okay. So here's a post. So this one only has 20 views. And I'm testing something, 143 followers. And this is where I am looking to get into the construction space. So this is new. So this is something that I'm testing out. But when we look at, let me go back home. Okay. Hey Tim. Here's my buddy, y'all. Looks like he just got a brand new job. Again, it's like, this is where I was at Fubu Radio. Something really quick, letting them know like the right combo can make you millions, right? And so because I post all the time, LinkedIn will penalize you for that also. So I had to slow down some of my postings. But if I really still think that it's important, I'll go ahead and just put it out there, because even though they'll penalize you at the front end, at the back end, then all of a sudden all your posts will begin to be looked at. And so, every so once in a while, I'll put something out there about legacy. So these are my two sons. So I have 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. And so I was having fun with my 2 sons. And so I talked about legacy. So it wasn't just like, hey, I'm hanging out with my sons, blah, blah, blah. And my thing is, what is your why for what you do? And so that's why I put that out there, because again, we're going through a whole lot of transition. Like my late husband, his birthday is coming up next month. And so the kids have been acting like, so it's like, this is just the opportunity for us to really spend time and to talk, to say, okay, why are you doing what you're doing? Right? It's like, why are you doing this? All right. So that wasn't a good one. I want to show you guys another one. So this is really cool. This is a testimonial that was from Ashley, and I was like, oh, sweet. And so these testimonials can be put into LinkedIn, but right there, it's just getting into the weeds of things. But again, there's me and Shay again. Hey, Shay. So this is us. Again, talking about what's happening. Are you in the winning mode? And it's like, let's get you where you need to be. And so those testimonials and those recommendations are really important. But so this is the last thing that I'm going to say, so I won't overwhelm you guys, is all of this is important. So now do you guys see that pop up like that? that is because I'm on LinkedIn all the time, I'm allowed to, so if you go to my LinkedIn profile and have it on speaker, you'll actually hear me speak and talk about what I do. And so everybody doesn't have that capability. LinkedIn is just testing it out right now to see what type of traction people are getting. But again, all your huh? You say what? Keep posting, girl, keep posting. So again, you want people to know what you're about, what you can do, what you have to offer, and how you can solve their problem. And so right now, how I can solve your problem is I'm a LinkedIn strategist. Also, I can help you with government certification application specialist. And those, so that's pretty much some of the things that I do to help a small business grow, and most definitely help you get those $1 million clients.
That's great. I love LinkedIn. I think I'm on LinkedIn. I actually post on my own LinkedIn. I do not post on my Facebook and my Instagram. Everyone always thinks it's me that's posting, but I don't post on my Instagram and my Facebook because I literally like fell in love with LinkedIn. I've gotten some clients off of LinkedIn and some business. So I definitely feel like it's important to have that business profile out there. My question to you, definitely for everyone on here, is being in a dispatcher space is is that still a good space for them to get their certification and receive government contracts within transportation?
Absolutely, because one of the things about government certification, if you think about when it is driver appreciation, if it's driver's appreciation week or month, if you think about things that they need, and so you gather these things up for them and you give them, you give them to the truckers. There are contracts that are out there for those particular items. So if you already know where to get those items from, then you can fulfill that type of contract. It doesn't have to be any like really heavy lifting. You're like, you know what? I know where to get journals from. Okay. And I know where to get journals from cheap. I know where to get pens from. They ask for pens. They ask for notebooks. They ask for markers. They ask for crayons. They ask for bags. They ask for socks, shoes, flip-flops, any and everything. So not just the dispatching, but how do we expand that if we have access to those different supplies. Or also what I've seen is sometimes within the women prisons, they actually have an opportunity that if you do have a business, that you can teach the prisoners or the inmates about dispatching. And so it's like an open RFP that they'll say, okay, once a quarter, we teach the female inmates a different skill, and as long as it has these three options, as long as you have a program in place, and as long as it shows how long it takes for the program to be completed, but they're not even talking about what's the name of the program. You bring that program to them and say, I have a dispatching course, or I have a business and I can teach them how to dispatch.
Wow. Sounds good to me. I know that, I've definitely, been in the space and been in conversations. I see all kinds of things out there. My very first contract, it was little. I was, just trying to get my feet wet with learning how to do the proposals and stuff like that. So I did for Fulton County, which is one of the counties here in Georgia. The school board needed 1,000 styrofoam cups. No, it was 10,000 styrofoam cups. And I'm like, they got a contract out here for styrofoam. Why don't you just go to Progress and get you some styrofoam cups? But it's stuff that they have to outsource. So I was like, okay, well, this is easy. Well, it wasn't easy, but I didn't realize the different things that they outsource. And then also realizing that they outsource them and they target, like you said, a certain market. So definitely is beneficial for the certifications. This such a wide arena that dispatchers in the transportation field can get into. I've seen like armed services post about needing storage. We're coming, they need event space. They had one where they were coming to do an army training. and they were looking for an event space for 37 days. And again, there's like so many different ways to get in it and make that addition, make that additional income and put yourself out there with government contracting. But I'll stop talking now. Does anybody have any questions for Michelle? You can feel free to either raise your hand on your settings or unmute yourself and let me know if you have any questions for Miss Michelle before we let her go. I definitely hope, this information was valuable to you guys. I definitely know the government space has been a blessing, and I'm still trying to get all my certifications in line. And you said one that I had never heard of, so we definitely gonna have to talk about this airport certification, because I've never heard of that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Just in certain states.
Yeah. Yep. For as long as there's an airport in that state, and if you are applying for the DBE, then you can qualify that for the ACDBE also. Okay,
so you have to have the DBE and then you can qualify for the ACDBE.
Correct.
Gotcha. Oh. Well, sometimes we get a group of shy women on this phone. They'll probably call you when they have their questions. But I definitely appreciate. Oh wait, I have a question. Is there a certain amount of revenue your company has to make to qualify for contracts? That's a good question.
No, for the contracts, there is not a certain amount of money. They may ask for experience, but that's contract by contract. So, your state might ask for something, your county, your parish may ask for just a certain amount of experience, but not a certain amount of revenue.
Gotcha. Great question, Ice Freight. Good question. All right. Any other questions for Miss Michelle? All right. Well, Miss Michelle, we definitely appreciate you coming in. I'm going to take this last 15 minutes to answer any Q&A in reference to any dispatch question anybody have. We appreciate you coming in. The information was definitely useful. I know I will be reaching out to you very soon to finalize some things for me. And, we'll make sure that the ladies have all of your information. So thank you so much for your time this evening. We appreciate
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, please, most definitely, please reach out to me, Michelle.weathersby@lensconsultingfirm.com, or just go to michellelenore.com. That's a whole lot shorter and easier, michellelenore.com. And let me know any questions that you have. Again, most definitely check out the sessions that I have coming up, and I hope to be hearing from some of you ladies.
Absolutely. Thank you again. If you want to stick around and be bored with some dispatch questions, you're more than welcome.
I'll pop off.
Thank you, Michelle. We definitely appreciate you. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, ladies, I hope that was some valuable information for you guys. Michelle is definitely a wealth of knowledge when it comes to those government contracts and those certifications. So I hope you enjoyed that. So let's get into the nitty gritty. We got about 15 more minutes. So I want to take open Q&A. Any of your dispatch questions, any of your transportation questions, logistics questions that you have from me, let's do it. You can raise your hand so you can unmute yourself. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's going on in dispatch world and transportation world. Anybody know about the new regulations coming up with the FMCSA starting February 7th, 2022? Have you been updating your drivers and giving them a heads up of what's going on, all the different changes, questions, concerns, issues, comments? Lego, how did y'all do with DAT being down? Y'all can unmute yourselves and talk to me. No, DAT down was down for a few days. I feel like at this point, DAT need to be giving everybody half off, because at least every month they're down for like 2 or 3 days. But that's definitely the importance of building your relationships out here with these brokers and having other access to other boards and other ways to getting your trucks loaded. Because load boards are not guaranteed, internet is not guaranteed. So you definitely have to be getting out here and being sure that you are reaching out to your brokers, staying in contact with people you booked loads with before, as well as building your list and building your book of buildings as dispatchers when it comes to your broker relationships. So you can reach out directly to them and say, hey, I have this truck in Atlanta, I got this truck in Chicago, I have this truck over here. Can you tell me what lanes you have available, what lanes you have moving? We're definitely not, there's always that thin line between, am I double brokering, or am I doing this the proper legal way? And double brokering is considered when you are, you're trying to get loads, or you're trying to get loads or lanes under your dispatch service. You can definitely reach out to brokers. You can definitely reach out to shippers. You just can't have dedicated lanes. Like anytime you see a dispatcher post, I have dedicated lanes. Like a dispatcher cannot have dedicated lanes. You can reach out on a carrier's behalf to the shipper and book dedicated lanes for him on his behalf, but going to a shipper and saying, hey, I got 12 trucks. Can you provide me with a dedicated lane? And having a shipper pay you as a dispatcher, and then you turn around paying the carrier, is definitely double brokering and illegal. So there's ways to build your business, build your relationships with these brokers and also with shippers. You just have to be sure that you're not crossing those thin lines. So do we have any questions? Any questions, concerns? If we don't have no questions, I'm gonna let y'all ride for the night. Good, y'all good? Everybody, no questions? You good? Okay, y'all are quiet bunch tonight. I have never had like literally nobody come on. Don't have no questions for the night, but that's cool. So we're gonna let y'all ride. That's it for the night. This recording will be up on the YouTube page probably by the end of tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for joining in, and we will see you guys next month. Next month we have Miss Shaylin Dixon is going to be on the line, as well as we got a broker coming in from Nolan Transportation as well. So that should definitely be good. Because we're gonna drill his behind. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope the information tonight was valuable, and we'll see you guys next month.